So I did a random pick. These come from the National Institute of Standard random number beacon. Then I take I take 6 hex digits, nibbles, convert to decimal, take modulo the number of lines in the Bible, minus 25 plus 1, and every minute they publish a new random number. You can verify old minutes. As a matter of fact, this link will take you to this minute. This is the Unix time. That's seconds since 1970. So if you can check, if I post a random number, you can verify that it was that number for the particular minute. In other words, this is absolute proof. If it's a convincing passage. So this is talking about paren. One of the things I did is change the precedence when I made my compiler. I didn't like the standard precedence rules. You might ask, why would I make such a rude change? It's much better with shift operators as exponential highest precedence. I also added a power function, a power operator. This is the new precedence. I think I forgot the old precedence for C, for standard C. Anyway, I think I changed some other stuff. So under my rules, when you take 1 shifted over 3 plus 1 shifted over 16, you get 1. Okay. Alternatively, sometimes it's, you could debate that, whether it's better to use or plus when combining bits. So the highest precedence. So let me go ahead and explain some of my conventions. I'm surprised I have them documented. What do I call it? Guidelines. Okay, well, this is a document of some guidelines. You'll notice I use the camel case and underscore. Fortunately, I'm not that unstandard. There should be a system programming guide. Where is that? I'm sorry. Maybe it's in the glossary. That was dumb. Okay, well, I'll just tell you. In the okay, you'll get used to this. These are the 3. You know how Windows has everything in one header? I don't know if that's true. Maybe it's not true. Anyway, what I do is I put a little f if it's a flag number, a bit number, and I put a big F. This is a bad example. Okay, so here's my convention. I put a little f if it's a flag number, and a big F if it's a flag value. I like not having enumerations because that's just one less thing. In case you haven't caught on, in case you can't catch my drift, I want minimum structure. I want minimum artifices. I don't know if that's a word. Anyway, if it's a group of flags, I put a G. Types, I guess that's a little, anyway, that's kind of an ugly. Okay, so one of the things I do is list all symbols in alphabetical order. I purposely use, you'll notice, file read. I don't say read file, I say file read. And that's so that when you alphabetize, so I do everything in C++ order. In other words, I put the class, FIFO. So I do everything in C++ order. So the member function goes on the end. The particular member function. Now I put an underscore on C callable. Okay, so my assembly language is all uppercase. I'm the only one who does that. As a matter of fact, my assembler only handles uppercase. My assembler, it is mandatory that it's uppercase. My assembler uses the same parser, the same lex as the compiler. In other words, it's not line oriented. You can break it up and it's just like a C program. There's no, it's end of line doesn't matter. Now what I had to do to make that magic is I had to, a couple of the opcodes are ambiguous between one argument and two arguments. And so I made, for multiply and a few others, there's a return one. There's a few opcodes that have that are slightly non-standard. There's a lot of opcodes that aren't supported. Never mind. Anyway, I put on all C, if it's C callable, I put a underscore, so underscore memset. And what you have to do, you have to bind an assembly label to a function header, and you use the underscore extern. Underscore intern, those are built in. It doesn't inline functions, but it has some built in that get super inlined really impressively. The bit operations are really optimal. So underscore so what else can we say? So you'll want to get familiar with these headers. Maybe you're all the operating system routines are indexed in the WordStat, so that you can look them up. If you want your own routines, you're going to have a problem. In other words, you can't navigate your own routines very well. What you'll have to do is include, so I'm going to include this. Whoops, didn't even like that. So I include this, then include this. Now I have it in the symbol table, And so now I can, all these symbols have been indexed into the explosion. Watch this. I can say man explosion, and it goes to the function. Or you never do that. What you do is Control Shift F1. Okay, that's because it was showing in the index. Anyway.